Hello again. Here we are a week into 2024. The new year has begun. Before we get too far into the new year, I'd like to take a look back at the holiday season and talk a little bit about some of my thoughts from Christmas. I have often, throughout my adult life, thought about the Bible and what we know about what's in the Bible, what we know about what happened during Bible times. The Bible was written by so many different people, and the records were often a lengthy time after they happened. One of the things I've thought about that a lot is with the Christmas story. The people who wrote down the Christmas story probably weren't there when the Christmas story actually happened, when Jesus was born. So I've often wondered how much of that is factual and how much of it's something that's maybe been created over time or handed down over time and maybe isn't exactly the way it happened. Even though I think so much about those different things in the Bible and kind of wonder, are they factual? Are they actually true? Are they actually historically accurate? When I do stop and think about those things, I also ask myself, so what's the underlying message here? Like, what is it that I need to get out of this, whether it's historically accurate or whether it's a spiritually inspired story that I can learn and grow from spiritually? So I thought a lot about that again this Christmas season. One of the things that prompted me to think about that more this Christmas season was a woman who I know who goes to my church, who was talking about sort of her own questions about who Jesus is. And so we were sharing some of our thoughts and stories about that. And then when we got further into the Christmas season, came Christmas Eve, and there was somebody from my church who was really struggling and reached out to me about that. We were continuing to communicate on Christmas Day, and it didn't feel right to say Merry Christmas when this person was struggling so much. It felt like that would trivialize their struggles. But I didn't want to pass up the thought to talk, the opportunity to talk about Christmas. So I thought a little deeper about like, what might I say today to like bring up Christmas and talk about Christmas to this person who's struggling so much. And the things that I sent to them in a text, I thought, these are things that other people might benefit from as well, because a lot of people struggle during the Christmas season. So I ended up putting that on Facebook, probably added a little more to it than I'd actually just put in the text, but I'd like to share with you all what I shared on Facebook in case you don't follow me on Facebook and haven't already seen it. So here's what I put. I've really thought a lot this year about what Christmas means to me and what I believe about Jesus' birth. Christmas can be so full of expectations of things being lovely and beautiful and cheerful and fun. I believe that no matter what you think or believe about Jesus and his birth, the Christmas message is really about love coming to our world in a new way. Jesus didn't come to the world in a perfect way. He was born in the midst of his parents' struggle, traveling a long journey while pregnant and not being able to find a hotel room to stay in, so sleeping in a barn with livestock. Our modern images tend to focus on a glorious scene with angels and nicely dressed shepherds and wise men and stars in the sky. The reality is that he came to this world in a smelly barn full of animals because his parents had no place else to stay. Although we sing about Silent Night, Holy Night, and we sing about joy to the world, etc., the Christmas story is so much more. It's about Jesus coming to a world that is full of struggle and Jesus enduring struggle himself. The story is really so much about God's love being present in the midst of struggle. Jesus' enduring message was one of loving all people. Jesus spent his time with all kinds of people, many who were seen by his society as being unworthy of his love. Jesus challenged the religious people of his time who thought they had it all figured out. And he brought a new message of radical, humble, all-inclusive love. The story of Jesus isn't really even about fully believing with unwavering faith. It's about being humble, being vulnerable, being loving and receiving love, whether we feel worthy or not. I wish for you that kind of love today. And although Christmas is past, I want to say Merry Christmas. I hope that those words meant something to you. They definitely meant something to me, even as I wrote them and as I thought about them. And I just think it's so important, no matter what Bible scripture we're looking at or Bible story we're looking at, or if you're from a different religious tradition, what sorts of stories or things that you're looking at in those traditions, that we always need to come back to, what does this tell us about God? And what does this tell us about ourselves? And for me, the Christmas story, the biggest point in all of that is that Jesus came to this world as a baby, grew to be a man, and brought love in a different way than we'd seen it before. I love you all. Thanks for checking in.